guys, Nathan here, and today we have the new Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie figure collection. I got this the day it came out. So it's from Jakks Pacific. You got Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, Robotnik, and Buzz Bomber. Very exciting. Now we got some art of Sonic over here. Alright, let's open this up. So, this is available at Targets right now. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. Definitely in the U.S. Mine, I had to ask them, and then they told me they had it in the back. So, if you go to your Target and see they don't have it, make sure you check the back. Oh, wow. Looks like I got some sort of background in there. Let's pop it out like that. Oh, this is nice. So you see we have some sort of this lightning bolt sort of cloudy design. I'm sure you can display all your figures really nice on there. Let's get these figures out now. You got to be really careful when cutting off these rubber bands here to not accidentally cut the figures. Be really careful taking out your Buzz Bomber because, look, he just sort of fell into pieces. And these sort of guns look really delicate, so I'm going to have to be... Okay, there he is. Alright, here are all our figures. Now let's take a closer look at all of them. Starting with Sonic here. He's looking pretty nice. You can see he has this nice painted on smile. Looking pretty good. He's got lots of fur details, and like all the Jakks Pacific 2.5-inch Sonic figures, he can bend at quite a few different rotations. Jointed just like all the other ones, yeah. Head can spin. But, you know, be a little careful because these do get a little crackly. Like, it's like the paint sort of holds the joint together. Like, you gotta... The joints might not be super movable. You gotta move them a little, you know? Like, this especially. Wow. So, guys, tail back here. His sneakers looking very nice. With some pegs in the bottom. Maybe there'll be a playset you can put these on. Sneakers looking very good. Wow, paint on this is great. I don't know how they get those tiny eyes. And all his fur everywhere and all his quills. He's got a little tail back there. Looking super great. And here is the original Jakks Pacific Sonic. So you can see they are basically the same height. They both have the same posability. Although this Sonic, you know, different proportions and all. But... yeah, you can. I actually like this one maybe a little more. This one's, I don't know, his finger was in a weird pose. But I think Jakks Pacific has definitely learned a lot of great stuff about their Sonic figures. Yeah, pretty awesome. And both Sonics have the same sort of painted on smile. The newer one's black though, and the original one's pink. Yeah. The Sonic can also stand pretty well, which is kind of surprising because this one's a little finicky because I think this one's quills are bigger and thus weigh him down. He can't stand as well. But his shoes are also bigger, so you'd think he'd stand well. But this one stands, like, surprisingly great. See if we can get him in some poses. There's sort of walking pose. Hard to get him into, like, a running pose. But all in all, a really awesome figure. Next up is Tails. This figure's also looking really great. Same, really great fur details. Although I think Tails has even more of the sort of furry look. He's got one hand sort of like waving, one hand closed. And he's got his two tails back here that are on a separate joint. So they're pretty extra posable. Looking great. He's got his sneakers too. Got his socks rolled up. Wow. And they all have the same sort of 2022 Paramount Pictures Sega on the shoes. Same sort of posing around the head and through here. Although this one you might have a little harder time posing because of those tails. But in some cases they can actually help because if you can't get him to stand, you flip his tails like this and he'll stand super easily. There's him in sort of a running pose. He's got some great painting on his eyes. His mouth is pink, kind of unlike big smile, unlike Sonic's tiny little smile. His boot, though, I don't know. It has some, like, sort of random black paint, which is weird because there's not really, I guess it came from the boot. You can see it's sort of scuffed black paint around his boot and that. Here he is with the regular Jakks Pacific tails. And again, I feel like you can see some improvement. They had these seams above Tails' eyes that are no longer here. He also had this red mouth. I love this open mouth here. You can really tell same character, shoes a lot bigger here. Tails are in an identical pose. And this one also has a really hard time standing up without the tails like this. This one's tails, though, pop out. And that could be the case for this, but I'm not going to pull them out to find out at risk of them breaking. So yeah, these are some really identical figures. Really awesome. Knock, knock, it's Knuckles. So this is our next figure, Knuckles, the Echidna. Looking pretty great. We see he has the same sort of furry details. I really love how his crescent moon sort of shape up here is like really well like blended in there. He's got his hands are both in fists. Look like they could sort of maybe hold any accessories. His head can't turn though because of all of his hair. Legs and arms can turn pretty well though. Now he does have a little bit of weird painting over here in his hair. But besides that, it's pretty good. His mouth, you know, it's just a straight black line. And it doesn't look perfectly lined up with, like, where the smile is on the plastic. But I'd say overall it looks pretty good. Seams aren't super visible, but you still kind of can see them. Face looking great. I just don't know how they paint all this, like, tiny eyes and tiny details. It just seems impossible. But yeah, really great figure. Bring in the original Knuckles, and weirdly enough, this one also has a really weird thing on his eye that I never got off. It's like some black paint. I think they use the exact same color for their eyes if you look closely. Looking really great. Of course, same as earlier. Proportions weird. This one also, you know, head doesn't turn. But yeah, really awesome figure. So excited to see him in the movie. Now we have Dr. Robotnik. I think this is Jakks Pacific first time doing sort of like a human character. So he looks, you know, a little odd with the rest of the Sonic characters. His head is very tiny, and so are his hands compared to the others. But, you know, he looks pretty good with them. I feel like his proportions aren't perfect. Like, Sonic should not be basically the same height as him. Yeah, maybe they should have made, like, his head bigger and everything. But he looks pretty good. His paint, you know, his head, like I just said, is so tiny that the details on there are just like molecular level paint. But it looks pretty good. You can see they got some detail on the mustache there. His eyes there. This might be the most impressive paint yet. I just don't know how they get it so tiny. Must be doing that with toothpicks, you know? But even his goggles have sort of a silver outline that even my camera is having trouble focusing in on. We've got some gold details around here. Of course, you can move around the joints, and there's like wrinkles on the fabric of his coat. That is impressive detail. Now his hand almost feels like it should be able to turn on its own, but I don't think it does, and I'm not going to push my luck. His legs actually can't really bend all that much, but this is sort of a rubbery material they did for his coat, which is great, because that does allow for a little more flexibility. So that his leg, that's sort of his widest he can go, pushing it a little. That ends up making the clothes feel even more realistic. His boots here are gold. They look great. They got some gold paint on the back. You know, paint here, not looking amazing. But, you got copyright info. I do think the gold paint, they just kind of stuck it places, and it looks way better back here, but here you can see the paint's a little off. But overall, that's a great figure, and sadly for this one, I don't have an Eggman figure. Did they make original Eggman figure? Or Robotnik, I should say. I know there's a classic Eggman I haven't found yet. But this is my first Jakks Pacific Eggman figure. I have the Boom one, but none from Jakks. So yeah, this is really great. Definitely one of the most impressive figures. Really exciting. And lastly, we have Mr. Fall Apart himself, the Buzz Bomber. Oh my gosh. So, like I was saying, his head is held on with nothing but friction. Like, that ball joint doesn't go in there. You're just sticking it on there and hoping it stays. I feel like this is not a good joint. You can sort of just really try to push it on there. His head looks pretty good, pretty detailed. This is not what he looked like in the games, and there's a new Buzz Bomber action figure that I don't actually have yet. I think I saw it at the store, but I didn't get it. But I should get that to go with this to show you guys and compare. But yeah, he's looking really great. Got all sorts of robotic detail. For once, I think having the numbers on the back isn't terrible, maybe, because it kind of looks like maybe it's like this is code of robot. But these are super flexible. There's some red in there. I guess these guns can turn. No, maybe they can't. Maybe they're just rubber. But mine are sort of angled at different ways. You can't really turn his head that much either. Like, I don't know why it's even on a ball joint when there's stuff here blocking it from really moving. But maybe with some sticky tack, you could really make that start to move. And then down here, he has a separate piece for his tail, which again, why did they make that a ball joint when there's no way for it to move? But is that like a feature? Is it like, oh, Sonic can destroy the robot? I don't know, but that's probably how I'll use it. And a clear stand plugged in down here so that he can be standing. You know, let's try that. Sonic. Yeah. Go Sonic. Break. Defeat the robot. He did it. He blew off his head. Wow, Sonic, you did it. What? Sonic, what have you done? Alright, that was all the figures. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Tell me in the comments, what did you think of these figures? And do you want me to review the rest of the bigger figures or the new Tornado playset that's going to come out? And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next. And any more things with these figures. Do you want to see some stop motions I might make? And see y'all in the next one. Bye. Subscribing is way past cool.